So, it's 3 o'clock and we're doing a brew and just filling up the BrewZilla. So the goal is to do a NEIPA and yeah, I just need to pop to the shops and I think get some oats and then I think I'll have everything that I need. But yeah, let's see how much we can do while there's still sun. So good luck. We'll see. Okay, so we're making a yeast starter. So I've got about 300 grams of light dry malt, which I'm watching while pizza. Alright, so starter, we've got about 3 litres and it's about 10:36. Shortly dump this in there. Verdant IPA. Alright, so looking like we have about 800 grams of quick oats. I've got another 800 grams of golden naked oats. And I will use about so of Joe White L2 row base malt. So I'm going to grind it all up, chuck it all in there, and then chuck it in the BrewZilla. It's up to temp, it's all good to go. Alright, I was probably a bit overzealous with the 8 kilo grain bill, so I've got a little bit left, maybe, I don't know, maybe half a kilo in there. And this is full AF. I've kind of mixed it around as much as I can, but the top of the pipe thing is right there in the center. See the black? Wow. So I might not be able to recirc this just because it's so full, unless it loosens up. So I'm going to kind of leave it as is for maybe half hour and then see how we go. If I can add the rest, even if that just gets like, I don't know, 30-minute mash or something like that, we just get what we get, we'll see. But at the moment it's at, what does that say, 68 degrees. That's perfect. Aiming 66, so YOLO should be right. Alright, so it's still pretty bloody high, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to decant, or going to pump out some of the water into this bowl. Should fit about 2.5 litres in there. And then hopefully the liquid level should drop and then I'll be able to actually recirculate it because it'll be under the pump tube thing in the middle. But see how we go. If it fails, then we just pour it back in and we wait. Okay, success, I think. We've got about that much out. Probably a couple of litres. I've managed to tip in the rest and it's recirculating. Okay, mind the noise, that's spinning and we're going to make our yeast starter. I'm going to sanitize that, grab it, and then put it in. Okay, technically this is day 0. That's what it looks like. Alright, so it's probably been at least an hour, so I'm dumping it. I'm going to dump that bit that I dumped out on top to wash it, and then I'll wash it as much as I can, and then I'm just going to keep on boiling it till maybe 23 odd litres, but I did a gravity test, and I'll show you what I got. Alright, so we got... So it's like 1080, pretty much. I don't know, pretty high, but we'll see how we go. Okay, I have to multitask a little bit, but I've got about 29 litres in there, and the rest of them just packing in a bucket. Maybe I'll just dump it in after I test the gravity oil, but it's going well so far. So, let's see how we go. What's that? Like 6:15, so been a good 2-3 hours since I started haphazardly, so we'll see how we go. So game plan, if I can get a boil kind of done for tonight, then I'll just leave it in the BrewZilla overnight to kind of cool down to room temp. And when the yeast is ready, I'll pitch it. Okay, I've got a temp to be. Alright, it's just about to start boiling. Actually, liquid gold. Anti-foam firm cap. It's legit. I'm add a little bit, and all that head will just disappear. Alright, one-handed, it was a little hard, but I probably added way too much. Probably about a mil, but yeah, like no foam. Completely just a nice boil. And now I feel like I can confidently walk away. But I'll keep monitoring it for now. Time check, 6:30. Time to cook dinner. Alright, we waste nothing here. Well, I guess the grain I'm going to dump, but that good stuff is going right in there. Well, now we're just, we're above 30 litres, so I guess it's going to be a really long boil. I'll probably try and aim to get around maybe 26 litre mark, I reckon, and then I'll probably fit 25-ish in the fermenter, which should be okay, I think. Right, with all that added, about 30 litres, gravity check looks to be... Come on, focus. 1070-ish. Not bad. Alright, it is currently 7:25. I've just added 40 grams of Magnum, dry hopped, with this little ghetto setup. So I'm going to do an hour and a half boil, because the BrewZilla 35 doesn't really, I find, have like, it doesn't have a whole lot of power to like boil pretty vigorously, so just do a long boil. So yeah, I'll start my 90-minute timer about now, and then when that's done I'll just turn it off, cap on, and then let it cool down. But yeah, I'll come back when it's about 9 o'clock, about 1.5 hours, and hopefully we will be well and truly under 30 litres, hopefully even maybe 25 is the goal, we'll see. Alright, it's 9 o'clock. We're at just under 25 litres, which is great. And our gravity is beautiful. It's at like 1074, let's say. 1074, 1075. Beauty. Beauty. This is how we leave it overnight. So I'll just put some cling film on top while it's still hot, and just cool down naturally. Alright, pretty much been 24 hours since I've pitched the yeast on the for the starter. So it's like 5 PM the next day. So this is what, again, very loud, but it's looking nice and cloudy. It could have had a bit of a krausen, maybe. Don't know, but I'm still going to leave it a while, because still got to wait for the beer or the wort to get down to temp to like 20 odd degrees, but we'll see. Alright, so we're doing the transfer. I just kind of rinsed out the tube a little bit to waste, and then the rest I'm just going to dump as much as I can in here, kind of aerate as I go. So yeah, it's just stood there from last night. Hopefully we get nice aeration. Yeah, so there we go. Right, I filled up the whole thing until the pump stopped. This is what the bottom looked like. Lots of just, I think, hot residue it looks like, and then a little bit of waste. Not a lot. I'll dump this. Maybe just over here. Yeah. Doesn't that look pleasant? Ugh. Might just leave that there. Wash that off a bit later. But it's not too much wastage. And it looks really good. Not a lot of crap. Alright, so I'll probably wait a day or so. So this is 37.8. And it's just chilling down to 20 degrees before I pitch the yeast. So haven't pitched the yeast yet. So the starter's still going. After the starter's cooked, I'll chill it, decant the top, and then dump it in there. And by that time, it'll probably be pitching temp. Perfect. Alright, so that's been chilling for about 12 hours now, and it's still a little not. So I might just, probably for another like 12 hours, and then I'll decant it and chuck it in. Alright, it's not really clearing up too much more. I'm getting a bit impatient. I'm just going to turf it up until about here. And I'll pitch it, but I'll let it come up to room temp first. Alright, time to put that in there. So that's 20 degrees. That's still a little cool, but it's, warming up. So I don't think I can film it, so I'm just going to chuck it in there. Well, that was easy. It's in there, giving it a bit of a shake. So I'll chuck it back. I'll put the spunding valve on the top. I'll put it on reasonably tight. Actually, I changed my mind. I won't put it on, but I'll probably do a dry hop in a couple of days when I see signs of fermentation. Alright, this is the morning after, probably about 10 hours after I've pitched it. I've just added old mate Spundy. He was at about 15. I've just got it like slightly loose on there. But yeah, not a huge grousing yet, but definitely some activity, which is good. I'm just going to leave it slightly loose. Hopefully it'll equalise it around 10-ish, we'll see. Cool. Alright, it's about 24 hours after yeast pitch. It was at about 15 psi. I'm just venting it. Let's add some hops. Alright, turns out dry hopping is a little more complicated than what I thought. So on the last video I posted, I think a lot of people were saying, yeah, under pressure it's fine, like if it's during active fermentation and you dry hop, then you just drop it in, reduce pressure, drop it in, and then it'll just kind of like purge itself out. So that's what I was trying to probably do it. I just got to be patient. But yeah, as I vent it, and obviously the lack of partial pressure of CO2 on top is just causing it to foam heap. So it's probably like 3 to 5 psi now. If I vent it anymore, it'll just push out. So I might just leave it, let it kind of settle and degas a little bit, and then I'll try and add those hops in there. Alright, a little hectic, but I managed to add them. I waited and the foam went down to about here, and then quickly vented it, took it off, dumped it in, and now the foam's like rushed up. But now that it's back under pressure, it shouldn't foam anymore, even with the hops and stuff, so it should just kind of be contained and build up pressure, and yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see how we go. I'll chuck it back in the fridge and make sure it's at 20 degrees. Bada bing, bada boom.